I was born in a farm, on a dairy farm, and I had a great childhood. I'm the youngest of 3 siblings, and I grew up among animals my whole life, and I knew I wanted to dedicate my life to agriculture. I grew up, you know, between cows and silage corn. So I always liked the farming lifestyle since I was a very little kid. I met my wonderful wife, and she had this taste for traveling as well, which was great. So before we had kids, we traveled to Asia, we went to Africa, we went to Europe as well in our honeymoon. And after 6 years working in Chile for this multinational company, they offered me a relocation. So I could choose from 4 places in the United States. And of those 4 places, I had been in a couple of them already during business visits before. And one of them that I had never been before was Minnesota. And it happened to be the first one that I came in my job search trip kind of thing. And I just fell in love with Minnesota. I mean, my drive from Minneapolis to Wilmer, I just loved it. And I called my wife, you know, and I told her, this is the place where I want to live. And of course, it was going to be a 2-people decision, but I just fell in love with Minnesota, and here we are. So, and 5 years later. In my home country, I built the house of my dreams. And when we were offered this relocation, the idea with my wife was coming to the US for 2-3 years and then go back to our home country. You know, why not? We had good jobs there. So based on that, we didn't sell our house in Chile, so I rented that to a local doctor there, and we rented a house here on the lake. And we kind of began liking it. So, well, this adventure, instead of 2-3 years, maybe 4 or 5. And well, after the 4th year, we decided to make the adventure permanent. There was a kind of cultural shock a little bit. My wife had been in the US before as well for her profession. You know, so we knew kind of what to expect a little bit. But of course, you know, the everyday life, I mean, you speak a different language, you do things slightly different, I guess. You raise your kids, I mean, pretty much the same, but with subtle differences, I guess. Well, I think my contribution is mainly through what I do in my job. I lead a big team of people, mainly Americans. I hire a few hundreds of Americans every year, as a matter of fact, from high school kids to work in our nurseries and fields, to people with PhDs that report to me as well, and everything in between, technicians, field biologists, etc. And basically what I do, we're creating new hybrids of corn and new varieties of soybeans, which is a key component of the local economy here in the Midwest, especially in Minnesota. So I think my contribution is to provide the local farmers with better products in the future to plant in their farms. We had a very good life. We have felt very welcomed here. We have made good friends, not only Latin American friends, but also American friends as well. We try to introgress into the local culture as much as possible. For example, for Latin American population, there is Catholic Mass in Spanish, but we go to the English one in order to introgress better into the local culture. And we have made good friends, American friends, doing that. So we felt very, very welcome, very welcome.